Good morning everyone. Okay, so today I will inform you that your examination will be held very soon. So that's why I will discuss the syllabus and pattern of exam for your upcoming exam. The first 4 chapter is included in your examination syllabus. Okay, so first one, the living world. The living world. The second one, biological classification. Third one, plant kingdom. And the fourth one, animal kingdom. Okay, this 4 chapter is included in your syllabus, and the pattern will be MCQ type pattern, the MCQ type question, and 20 marks. Okay, 20 marks MCQ type question will be held. There will be the 4 options, you just have to choose the right one. Okay, so this one is your pattern of the examination, the first 4 chapter. Read this carefully. The question will come from your syllabus, that is within your book. Read the chapter very thoroughly. Okay, okay, so let's move to our new chapter, that is plant growth and development. Okay, and when the date will be scheduled, I will inform you when your exam will held. Plant growth and development, this one is your today topic. So how the tissues, how the different factors, the cells, some hormones also, how they helps to grow and development of the plant, this is the main topics of our subject. www.bmsexam.in. Updated very soon in your Skype classes also, in your e-portal also. Just follow your website, no problem. Practicals, Babu, practicals told that Sabanti ma'am told you. Okay, no problem. Practicals, we have told that there is your syllabus is also present, and olabs.in, there is olabs.edu.in. this is your website. From that website you can get the top audio video of your practical, you can write from that part also, and you can also write the book for also. Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you so much everyone. Start. So you have already studied the organization of a flowering plant in chapter 5. Have you ever thought where and how the structure like roots, stems, leaves, flower, fruits and seeds? So many different parts of the flowering plants, the roots, stem, flower, seeds, all you can know that how they start to grow from the different parts of the plants. You know that you have already read from the class 9, that is the meristematic tissue is present, apical part and shoot part. So they helps in the growth, and there is the cambium is present, that helps to grow the growth of the plant. So different tissues also present to develop the different parts of the growth of the plants. You have also seen that trees continue to increase in height and breadth over a period of time. However, the leaves, flower and fruits of the same tree not have the limited dimension, but also appear and fall periodically, sometime repeatedly. Okay, they why does vegetative phase process flowering in a plant? All plants organs are made up of variety of tissues. Is there any relationship between the structure of a cell, tissue and organ and functions of perform? Obviously different cell, they start to grow, then form tissue, then form organ system, then form the organism. So they are linked one by one. If cell not start to divide, not start to differentiate, how the another organs of the plants develop, okay. So they are related very much. The basic part is the cell. Can you structure and function of this altered? All the cells of a plants are described of the zygote and descents of zygotes. Obviously any life that start from the zygote, when they two gametes start to meet and after fertilization they form the zygote, and after formation of zygote the organisms start to grow. That's maybe plants, that's maybe animals. That question is that why and how do they have different structural and functional attributes? Development is the sum of two processes, growth and differentiation. So what is development? Development means growth plus differentiation. So this is the development. Actually growth means the division of the cell, they start to divide, they increase their numbers, they start to grow. Differentiation, after division of the cell, the arrangement of the rearranging of the cell, how that so many cells form a particular structure, particular organ, that is differentiation. There is no division of the cells occur, there is just arrangement or rearrangement of the cells occur, that is called differentiation. So growth and differentiation both are accumulated to development, form development of any parts. To begin with, the essential and sufficient to know that development of a mature plant from a zygote follow a precise and highly ordered succession of events. During this process, a complex body organization is formed that produce root, leaf, branches, flower, fruit, seeds and eventually they die. That is the normal process. They start to grow from the zygote, they form the root part, then branches, then flower, then fruits, and after that they die. That is normal process. In the chapter, we shall also study some factors which govern and control these development processes. These factors are both intrinsic and extrinsic of the plant. So many factors that helps to develop in the plants. The factors you can divide it into two parts, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic is the environmental, external factors, and intrinsic means the internal factor, the tissue, the organs, the hormones that helps in the developments of the plants, okay. Now growth. Growth is regarded as the most fundamental and conspicuous characteristics of the living being. Obviously, if you claim that these things is living, you can first things of the living organism, they start to grow. Without growth, they are not living. That is from the very small size to very large size. They start grow. Okay, this is the unique features of the living organisms. What is growth? Growth can be defined as an irreversible permanent increase in the size of an organ, its parts or even of an individual cell. So growth, that is irreversible change. If anything start to grow, they never come back to its original shape and sizes, okay. So that is irreversible. And permanent change, if there is they start to grow, you start to grow, you became tall, but you never came back to your short form, that is the child form, okay. So this is not possible. So growth is an irreversible permanent change of that's maybe any part, that's maybe whole body, that's maybe an individual cell, anything. So what is growth? It is irreversible permanent change in size of an organ or any part or any particular individual a particular cell, okay, any part, that's maybe any body part, that may be any organ cells, that there is a permanent change occurs, irreversible change occurs, that is called growth. Generally, growth is accompanied by the metabolic process, both anabolic and catabolic, that occurs at the expense of the energy. So, anabolism and catabolism, you know that most important for respiration, because they first start to break down the complex food into the simpler one, and then they form the ATP. So, for the energy for required, because to grow you require energy. So, how does you get the energy? You get the energy from the respiration process. The metabolism and catabolism occurs in the presence of the oxygen. So, the catabolism and metabolism is or anabolism, both are important to grow a plant. You know what is catabolism? Catabolism means breakdowns of bigger ones to smaller one, and anabolism means that is accumulation, smaller one to bigger one, okay. How would you describe the swelling of the piece of wood when placed in the water? Swelling of the cell is not growth, it is actually change of its shape. How it is changed is that maybe any medium, due to hypertonic solution, due to hypotonic solution, the water gets entered inside the cell start to swell up, and when the water goes out of the body, that start to shrink. So, that is not permanent, that is irreversible, that is not that is reversible. So, this is not growth, okay. They can change their size without the water, and with the water they can swell up. There is no change in their body parts or anything, that is any particular part that may be swell up. So, that is the total difference from the growth, that is not growth, that is just due to some environmental condition they change their shape. Plant growth generally and indeterminate. So, how the plant growth you can determine? Plant growth is a unique, because plants retain the capacity for the unlimited growth throughout their life. So, this is the unique features of the plant growth, they can grow throughout their life, because you can see the any type of animal or human beings, they start to grow from the childhood, but after certain age, that 18 to 20 to 21, they stop growing. But the plants, they can grow throughout their life. You can cut down the plants from their bases, but then again start to grow, and they grow throughout their life, and they become very big, okay. So, this is the unique features of the plant growth, though they can grow throughout their life. The ability of this plant is due to the presence of meristemate and certain locations in their body. The cells of such meristems have the capacity to divide and self-repair. The product, however, soon lost the capacity to divide such cell makeup of the plant body. This form of growth, wherein new cells are always being added to the plant body by the activity of meristem, called open from the growth. So, you know that the plant growth is mainly dependent on the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue that present on the root part and shoot part, that is the primary growth. They start to grow the primary part, root part and shoot part. Then the branches, fruits, anything, their width, that start to develop. That is secondary development. The primary development is development in root part and shoot part. In chapter 6, you have studied that the root apical meristem and shoot apical meristem. You know that they are responsible for the primary growth of the plant and principally contribute to the elongation of the plants along with their axis. You also know that dicotyledons plants and gymnosperm, the lateral meristem, vascular cambium and cork cambium appeared later in their life. These are meristems that cause in the increase in the breadth of the organs which they are active, now known as secondary growth of the plant. So, two types of growth occurs in the plants, that is primary growth and secondary growth. Primary growth means that root apex and shoot apex are present, they start to grow and they form the different parts of the plants. But the secondary growth means the width part, there is cork cambium, vascular cambium, these are present, they increase the breadth of the plant. So, this one is the secondary because it happens later. Next, growth is measurable. You can measure the growth of the plant. Growth at a cellular level is principally consequence of increase in the amount of protoplasm. Since increase in protoplasm is difficult to measure directly, one generally measures some quantity which is more or less to it. Growth is therefore measured by a variety of parameters, some of which are increase in fresh weight, dry weight and length, area, volume and cell number. So, primary, when you can see the growth of the plant, you can see that there is the amount of the protoplasm is increased. When the cell size increase, protoplasm is increased. So you can see the growth of the plant, but how could you measure the size? Because you can protoplasm, you can measure amount of the there is the less amount protoplasm, there is the large amount protoplasm. But what is the size? Increase in the size you can measure by the cell size, dry weight, this type of weight, cell number. This is the measurement of the growth of the plants. You may find amazing to know that one single maize root apical meristem can give rise to more than 17,500 new cells per hour. So maize stem, that is the growth of the cells per hour, that is 17,500 cells per hour, okay, in the maize. But in the case of the watermelon, 3,50,000 cells per hour. So these cells there can produce so many cells in per hour, and these cells rearrange, differentiate, growth occurs. In the former, growth is expressed to increase the cell number, the latter express growth increase in the size of the cell. While the growth of a pollen tube is measured in terms of length, an increase in the surface area denotes the growth in the dorsoventral leaf. So surface area means the leaf surface, that is also became broader. Phases of growth. How many phases of growth are present in the plant's growth? The period of growth is generally divided into 3 phases, namely meristematic, elongation and maturation. Okay, so 3 phases, growth phase are 3 types in plant scale. First one, meristematic, that is the root part and shoot part. Second one, elongation, increase in their size. And third one, maturation, that is the final, when they reach to their final sizes, maturation. So these 3 are the growth phases in the plant's life. Let us understand by looking the root tips, the constantly dividing cells both at the root apex and shoot apex represent the meristematic phases of growth. The cells in this region are rich in protoplasm, possesses large conspicuous nuclei. The cell walls are primary in nature, thin and cellulosic with abundant plasmodesmadal and connection. So when they start to primary growth, what happens? Cell wall form, protoplasm form, that is thin and cellulose is present, plasmodesmadal connection. The cell proximal, that is next to away from the tip, meristematic zone represent the phase of the elongation, the increased vacuolation, cell enlargement and new cell wall deposition. So in the case of the meristematic region, that is first one, that meristem present in the root apex and shoot apex, they start to grow, and with that cell wall start to form, protoplasm form, that is thin, cellulosic formation occurs, the primary basic structures form. But when they reach to the elongation, that is if there is the root part is, shoot part is present, this part is the apex meristematic present, the next part of the root apex meristematic is the meristematic zone of elongation. There is cell number is increased, size is increased, vacuolation increase. So these are occurs in the elongation phases. And what happens in the maturation phases? Further away from the apex, the more proximal to the phases of the elongation lies the portion of axis which is undergone the phases of maturation. The cell of this zone attain their maximal size in the size of the wall thickening protoplasm modification. Most of the tissue and cell types you have studied in chapter 6 represent this place. So first one meristematic zone, second one elongation, third one maturation. So in the case of the primary zone, there is the basic structure formation start. In the elongation phases, there is the vacuolation, cell enlargement, new cell wall formation, cell wall deposition. Deposition means with cellulose, suberin, lignin, pectin, that is deposit to form hard the cell wall. And the maturation phase, they are reached to their maximum size and maximum deposition or anything, that they finally actually that is the final stage of the growth. Now growth rates. So growth, how they grow and how the rates per hour, per minute, so that is called growth rate. So growth rate, how does it occur? First zygote form, and then they start to increase in size, they divide, and this one is the structures of the zygote. there is the weed is also formed, and then they start to this type of the structure, there is the zygote formation. So this is the growth rate from the smaller one to the enlargement, from the 1 cell, then 2, then 4, then 8. So this pattern they follow. The increased growth per unit time is termed as the growth rate. So what is the growth rate? The increased growth per unit of time, that may be per hour, that may be per minute, that may be per year, okay. So anything. Growth rate means the increased growth per unit time. This is called growth rate. Increased growth, what is the growth actually occur per unit of time, this is called growth rate. The rate of growth can be expressed mathematically. An organism or a part of the organism can produce more cell in the variety of the ways. So they can produce so many ways. That's maybe just one side, that's maybe they grow in this pattern, there is 1 cell, there is 1 to 2 cells, there is 3 cells. In this pattern they can follow, this type of patterns will be follow, or otherwise they are equally grow in the both side, that this type of patterns they can follow. So many patterns are present of the growth rate. The growth rate shows the increase that may be arithmetic or geometrical. In arithmetic growth, the following mitotic cell division, only one daughter cell continues to divide while other differentiate and mature. So arithmetical differentiation means first one cell form, then they start to divide and they differentiate, means arrange and form the structure, that is called arithmetical growth. And the simplest expression of the arithmetic growth is the root elongation at consistent rate. On plotting the length of the against time, a linear curve is obtained. If you represent the arithmetical growth of the plant, then the curve, if arithmetical growth of the plant occurs, then the curve will be the straight, linear, okay. That is the time t, this is height of plant, and you can represent this is by the one type of, that is LT equal to L0 plus RT. LT means that is length with time, the final length. L0 means the starting, when they start to grow, and RT means the rate of the growth per time, from the starting to the final stage, which rate, and what is the rate of the growth, and per hour how many cells are formed, what is the size is increased. So you can measure by the RT, okay. So this is the formation of the linear growth of, or arithmetically growth of the plants. LT means length with time, L0 means that is the length at time 0, means start, when you start to measure length at time 0, and R means rate of growth. This is the arithmetical representation of the growth, but when you represent geometrically, what will be the structure of the curve? Let's see that what happens in geometrical growth. In most systems, the initial growth is slow, that is called lag phase, and the increase rapidly after the exponential rate, that is called log phase. So in the geometrical growth, there is two phase, lag phase and log phase. That is very slow process, when they start to grow slowly, and log phase when they start to grow very rapidly, and log means there is used logarithm to measure that growth. Here both the progeny cells following mitotic cell division retain the ability to divide and continue to do so. In the arithmetical growth, just one cell start to divide, but in the case of the geometrical growth, progeny means all the cells divide and grow. Okay, and if you plot the parameter of growth against time, you can typically S curve. When you represent geometrically, there will not be the linear curve, that will be the sigmoid curve. Okay, so S curve will be formed. This type of growth occurs in the geometrical form. So the sigmoid curve is characterized of the living organism growing in natural way. This is the natural growth. They start to grow, they increase or reach their highest peak, and then after that is stationary, means stop. Then they gradually grow. Can you think more similar example? One kind of curve you can express, so that no need to read that. The exponential growth can express by, so what will be the equation? That is W1 equal to W0 RT. Okay, W1 means there is LT, that is the W1 means final growth. W0 means that is the starting, and RT means the rate of the growth. So you can geometrically represent the equation is the W1 equal to W0 RT. W1 is equal to final ERT. Sorry, there is logarithm is used, so that's why W0 ERT. So W1 is the final size, W0 is initial size, and R growth rate, T equal to time, and E equal to base of the logarithm. Here R is relative growth rate, also measured by the ability of the plant to produce new plant material, referred to the efficiency index, that final size depends on the initial size W0. W1 is totally depend on the W0. This is natural. If you don't know the basic, how could you increase? Okay, so this is the basic structure. When you measure the growth, you have to observe what is their starting, then you can compare with their starting, then you can tell that yes, it start to grow. So W1 dependent on the W0. Quantitative comparison between the growth of living system can also be measured in the two ways. So not only qualitative, quantitative growth, that how, what is the size actually increase, you can measure that by number, that is quantitative growth. So the measurement and comparison of the total growth per unit time is called absolute growth, and the growth of the given system per unit time is known as the common basis, that is initially parameter is called relative growth. Quantitative absolute growth means you can measure the number, sizes, that is absolute growth, and relative growth means within that time how many growth occurs, this is relative growth. So quantitative growth are two types. That is, first one absolute and second one relative. So these two are the quantitative growth. There is the definition of the relative growth and absolute growth. But in the figure 15.7, there is two leaves are present. You can see A and B drawn that different size, but shows the absolute increase in the area given time to give the leaves. A and B, however, one of them says much higher relative growth, one of them. So there is two leaves, you can see that, and they grow. You can measure their size by the quantitative and if there is growth occurs in the small leaf also, there is growth occurs in the big leaf also. Okay. So what is the actually the measurement occur? If you compare these two types of the leaves, you can say that yes, this there is maybe in broad part, there is maybe in the two sides, that's maybe in the length. So many growth occurs in these two types of the leaves. Okay. So this is up to for the today. We will continue the rest of the part in my next video. Thank you very much everyone. Stay safe. Bye bye everyone.